So the NBA playoffs tip off tomorrow, and I don't know about y'all, but we've already got like our setup planned out. We're going over to a buddy's house. We're gonna get some wings, get some cookies, maybe some donuts. Like we're gonna have a whole feast planned out for the start of the NBA playoffs.
I mean, April, it's the best month of the entire year. It gets sunnier. It's my birthday, and we got the NBA playoffs most of all.
Before we give our picks for the NBA playoffs, if you haven't already, make sure to leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. So basically the way we're going to do this is we're going to give all our picks for the first round of the NBA playoffs. We're going to give our picks for who makes it to the conference finals, and we're going to give our picks for the NBA finals. Basically, the second round. Because
Right.
if we did like a whole bracket, it gets too confusing, and the video would probably be way too long anyway. So let's start off in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland against the 8th seed, who we don't know who it's going to be yet. We're recording this on Tuesday after the first round of play-in games. Could be Miami, could be Atlanta. I mean, either way, I think Cleveland 5 games against whoever it ends up being.
I don't care. I'll say a sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, the Hawks looked like garbage tonight. The Heat, I have no faith in them. Cavs, bring out the brooms. This is a sweep.
Celtics versus Magic, like with the Cavs against whoever ends up being the 8th seed, like, I don't really think this is going to be much of a series. I mean, both teams are excellent defensively. They're first and second in opponents' points per game. They're both top 5 in defensive rating. They both like to slow the game down. They're actually ranked 30th and 29th in pace, so don't expect them to be sprinting up and down the court a whole bunch. Big difference between them is Orlando is one of the worst offensive teams in the entire NBA, and Boston just isn't.
I mean, the Magic can't shoot the basketball.
No.
Like, I'm not picking any team to win a playoff series that cannot shoot the basketball in 2025. I mean, the Magic, they're like somewhat interesting because they're so good on defense. They have those perimeter defenders, but I mean, come on. It's the Celtics, and I think this is another sweep. The Celtics, they're playing great right now. The Magic, they've had a nice end of the season, but come on. The Celtics, the defending champs, they're sweeping them.
I think Orlando picks up one game.
Okay.
I think there's one game in Orlando. Boston doesn't shoot well from 3. Orlando manages to pick up like, a charity victory, but this is a very easy gentleman's sweep, I think, for Boston.
Knicks versus Pistons, this is gonna be a ton of fun. It's kind of a series of underachievers versus overachievers. That's a little bit harsh for the Knicks because they had like the 5th best record in the entire NBA, but I think they were expecting more after trading for Cat, trading for Mikal Bridges, sending out all those picks. They were so bad against good teams during the season. Meanwhile, Detroit, maybe the best turnaround in NBA history. I know it's not technically the best turnaround, but if you look back at all those other insane turnarounds, the 2008 Celtics come to mind. They all added a piece in free agency, in trades, in the draft.
What do you mean? The Pistons added Tobias Harris.
Yeah, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. That was their huge additions, and they've just been incredible. The Pistons could get swept and blown out by 40 points every single game. They'd still have a massive success of a season, but I think they're putting up a fight. I mean, in the regular season, they won it 3-1. They beat them the last 3 games. The Knicks had no answer for Cade. Still taking the Knicks in 6, but...
Of course you would, the New York simp of the
Hey,
channel.
It's my boy Cade too,
that is true.
That's why I'm saying Cade goes off. He's putting up 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, but the Knicks, they got too much experience, too much star power. I think they ultimately get it done, but this is going to be a fight.
Oh, it's going to be a great series. I agree. I think the Knicks get it done. I think Brunson, Towns, Bridges, I think that's enough for the Knicks offensively. Cade's going to get his, but I think the Knicks just have a little bit too much. It's going to be competitive though. I think it goes 7, and honestly, this might be the series in the first round, at least in the Eastern Conference, that I'm most excited for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Pacers Bucks, last Eastern Conference first round series. Tough one to pick. It's a rematch of the first round series from last year that the Pacers won 4-2. Obviously some big caveats. Giannis didn't play a single game. Dame missed 2 games. And once again, Bucks coming into this series are not at full strength. Dame is still out recovering from that blood clot. The Bucks keep saying, or at least we keep getting reports that there's optimism that he returns. I don't know about you. I got the feeling he's not coming back during the playoffs at all. Barring an NBA finals run or something, I feel like he's just going to sit the rest of the playoffs, which by the way, totally fine with. No reason to play around with a fucking blood clot in your leg, Dame. Get healthy, get better, come back next year. Oh. All right, go get him, Dame. Bucks, however, have been on a heater to end this season. Giannis averaged a 31-point triple-double in April. Pacers have been hot to end the season, though. They won 7 of their last 8. They've got home court advantage this time around. I am leaning towards the Milwaukee Bucks, though. I'm kind of putting all my faith in Giannis just going like Superman mode, averaging like 35 points, 17 boards, and like 11 assists per game. I'm really curious to see like how the Bucks handle any like late game situations they might have, because, you know, Chris Middleton is no longer there. Dame's out with the blood clots. Like, if they need a big shot, especially a three-pointer down the stretch, who is that guy that steps up and take the shot? Is it Planet Pat? Is it Kuzma? I don't know. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out, but I'm putting my faith and my trust in Giannis. He's coming into the playoffs healthy for the first time in a couple of years. I think they get it done in 7 because Giannis just goes superhuman mode.
Look, I agree he's going superhuman. Like, the dude has been playing like LeBron, just ridiculous stat lines. He's been facilitating, and even some shooters on the Bucks have stepped up, but over the course of a playoff series, I'm not trusting AJ Green. I'm not trusting Kevin Porter Jr. I'm not trusting Taurean Prince. I'm sorry. I think Giannis goes nuclear. He puts up one of the best stat lines we've seen recently in the playoffs. I think that'll happen, but the Pacers are playing great basketball. They're the deeper team. They have playoff experience from last year. Like, you can't doubt them anymore. Sure, they're young, but they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I think the Pacers get it done in 6. I think some nights the Bucks are going to look great. Giannis is going to drop 40. He's going to be passing out to AJ Green, Kevin Porter Jr. They're going to shoot the lights out, Gary Trent. But ultimately, over the course of the series, I don't trust his supporting cast. And even then, like, there's always the threat Giannis gets injured, and at that point, they're cooked. Over to the Western Conference, again, 1-8 matchup. We're not entirely sure who the Thunder will play. Could it be the Grizzlies, who just narrowly lost to the Warriors tonight? We'll have to see how that ankle holds up. And then you have the Kings or the Mavericks. Again, this is a situation, though, where, like, do we really care? I mean, the Kings are gonna get swept. That's straight up. The Mavericks, I don't even want to see that. That's just gonna be sad. Like, yeah. I think even Mavericks fans don't want to see that. The Grizzlies are the only team where it's like, okay, you know, this could be a little bit interesting. I might give the Grizzlies a game, especially like they put up a good fight in the play-in, but again, it's OKC in 4, maybe 5, but OKC is steamrolling whoever they play.
Yeah, for me, if it's the Mavericks, it's OKC in 4. If it's the Kings, it's OKC in 4. If it's the Grizzlies, it's OKC in 4. I'm sorry, like, I don't see any one of those teams taking a game off Oklahoma City. Maybe Memphis could get them once, but yeah, OKC rolls in round 1. Now to the series that at the time of this recording was the last one to be confirmed. Rockets against Warriors, 2nd seed against 7th seed. Kind of feels similar to a couple of series that we've had over the past couple of years. You know, Warriors Kings 2 years ago, Wolves Suns from last year. Both series had, you know, a young, relatively untested team as the higher seed and a more experienced team with, you know, bigger names as the lower seed that was kind of, you know, the heavy favorite. And, you know, in 2023, the Warriors beat Sacramento in 7, and then last year, of course, Minnesota demolished Phoenix in 4 games. So it's gone both ways. This series feels a lot like that. You got the upstart Rockets, big overachievers this season, won 52 games, an incredibly deep lineup, 7 guys averaging at least 12 a game. They do lack in some experience, especially with their like key pieces, you know, Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, but they're balanced offensively. Ime Udoka is one of the best defensive coaches in the entire NBA, and their opponents in Golden State, I mean, it's like the retirement home of the NBA. That's harsh, obviously, but a very old, very experienced team.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the recording. It's so funny. The Rockets battled with this Warriors team, like the core of it, years ago, 2018, 2019, went through a whole ass rebuild.
And now they're
new players
up again.
Yeah, and now they're back again against Steph and Draymond. The home court for Houston is going to be crazy because I know they still hate Golden State. Ultimately, though, I think the downfall is the Rockets, their half-court offense. Like, it's just not good. They make up for it by being an incredible offensive rebounding team, but in the playoffs, the game is going to slow down. The Warriors have this great defense, and I think that's ultimately going to hurt them. I'm going to say Warriors in 7. It feels like the Rockets are being disrespected here, but I think Warriors get it done in 7. I felt a lot more confident in the Warriors like a week or two ago. They haven't looked great to end the season, but Jimmy, Steph, Draymond, how could you pick against that?
Look, I tried really hard to convince myself to pick against them. I mean, look, as a Blazer fan, it's the the Warriors forever because of how many times they did us wrong, right? The Rockets are a great story this year, and maybe next year, if they make a big move in the offseason, then next year is going to be their year to try to make a breakthrough. But for this year, too much experience. I mean, we're just watching like the Warriors against the Grizzlies. Like every time they needed a bucket, Steph got him a bucket, or Jimmy got to the line. They make the plays that they have to. So I'm going Warriors in 6, as much as it pains me.
Lakers versus Timberwolves. We know this is going to be the most watched series. We never got LeBron versus Jordan in the playoffs, but maybe this is the closest thing. LeBron versus Jordan Jr., I guess. Anthony Edwards. There you go. It's a 3-6 series, but Lakers won 50 games, Wolves won 49. So it's a pretty close matchup there. And even though the Lakers were much better with Luka, Wolves were the better team to end the season. I mean, part of that's the LeBron injury and everything, but Wolves go 11-4 in their last 15. Compared to the Lakers, who just went 8-7, they did finish well, but no one is giving the Timberwolves a chance. Look at the ESPN expert predictions. 10-0. For the Lakers, I mean, in some ways it does feel like last season versus the Suns. No one gives the Timberwolves a chance against a super team that's concentrated around 3 main players. But at the same time, this Lakers team is way better than the Suns. They got Luka, they got LeBron, and Austin Reeves. Comparing him to Bradley Beal, that's a disgrace.
Yeah, well, it's funny actually. Going back a couple years, Nick Wright got flamed for saying he'd rather have Austin Reeves than Bradley Beal, and now he looks like a
He looks like a fucking
genius. My big concern for Minnesota is the potential for the Lakers to turn the Wolves' biggest strength into a potential weakness. The Wolves completely have the Lakers outmatched on the front line, between Gobert, Randall, Naz Reid. It's those 3 against Jackson Hayes, basically. But as we saw late in the season, especially in the games against the Thunder, on the offensive end, the Lakers had a lot of success against the Thunder's 2 big lineup when they were running Chet and Hartenstein. So if the Wolves try to go big and the Lakers start exploiting that on the offensive end, kind of neutralizes that advantage for the Wolves. And one of those bigs they got, Julius Randle, he has a reputation of being doo-doo when the playoffs come around. So the Wolves are going to need a second scorer to give Anthony Edwards some help. They've got a lot of guys who get you 12, 13, 14 points a night, but no one who's a consistent 20 points per game scorer outside of potentially Randle. If he can give them some big points, I think the Wolves can make this a really interesting series. I don't think he's going to, and that's why I'm going to pick the Lakers in 7.
I said Lakers in 6, even though I have my concerns about the Lakers. Yeah, I just don't think Rudy Gobert is really going to exploit them. I think kind of to what you said, if anything, Rudy Gobert could get played off the court. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but Rudy Gobert's not this dominant interior force that's going to just score 30 points like Jackson Hayes.
And we saw what happened last year when he got matched up against Luka.
Exactly. And the Wolves, like we saw last year, who is guarding Luka? Because Jaden McDaniels, he's got the length. You'd think he'd be a good matchup, but then Luka just kind of bullied him. Anthony Edwards, do you want to throw him on Luka? He's going to exhaust all his energy. I think the Lakers, it's just a good matchup for them. I think the Wolves have a chance. Don't just completely write off the Wolves, but Lakers in 6.
And finally, the 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference. The 2 teams that coming into the playoffs probably have the best vibes going on. Everyone with the Nuggets seems way happier since they fired Michael Malone. They're 3-0 since it happened. And the Clippers, meanwhile, riding an 8-game winning streak and are 18-3 in their last 21, beat the Warriors on the road to secure their playoff spot. So let's start with the Clippers. They have been unbelievable the last 21 games. Top-ranked offense and defense in the entire NBA. Kawhi Leonard is looking the best he's looked in a couple of years. He looks healthy. James Harden is having his best season since his Brooklyn year, probably. Norman Powell broke out as a 20-point per game scorer. Zubac is giving him 16 and 12 a night. It could be argued that there's no one playing better heading into the playoffs than the Los Angeles Clippers. And like I said with the Nuggets, as much as we ridiculed the Michael Malone firing and, not to spoil anything, I do think it's going to come back to bite them at some point in the playoffs. It does seem like everyone is a lot happier since he got fired.
I mean, David Adelman 3-0.
Yeah.
How can you argue against that? I mean, they beat the Kings, Grizzlies, Rockets, who didn't play their starters the entire game. Plus, Jamal Murray, he's finally healthy from that hamstring injury. He didn't look great to end the season, but he's healthy. He will be playing. And then you have Jokic, by far the best player in the world. This series is so tough because, Clippers, they have everything going for them. They're extremely hot. Kawhi, like you said, playing great, Harden playing great, the better, more experienced coach. And then the Nuggets, you have, you know, the shakeup they did, and then you have Jokic. And I'm picking the Nuggets just because of Jokic. Like, on paper, everything says Clippers. Hotter team recently, better coach. Who's going to guard James Harden in the pick and roll? Who's guarding Kawhi? They have Zubac, at least like a big body. One of the best defensive centers in the league to guard Jokic. But I'm just saying Jokic and Murray, their playoff magic, they find a way to get it done. An incredible 7-game series.
Well, you know what's funny is like when I was going back and forth on this series, I was kind of like leaning towards Clippers in spite of everything that their history tells you. You know, Kawhi getting hurt in the playoffs, you know, James Harden with his playoff flame outs. You know, I was still kind of leaning towards them even when those were telling me like, hey, go pick the Nuggets. But I'm finally going to say this is the year James Harden doesn't stink it up fully in the playoffs and Kawhi doesn't get hurt. That's a massive gamble that almost never has paid off. But you know what? Fuck it. I think the Clippers hold off the Nuggets in the first round because I think at some point David Adelman's inexperience is going to show. He may go on to be a fantastic coach, but he's only coached 3 games. I think somewhere along the line, Tyronn Lue is going to make an adjustment that Adelman is not going to adjust to in time, and I think the Clippers pull the series out in 6 games. So now our picks for the conference finals. Out in the West, I'm going Thunder against Lakers. I think OKC dominates round 1, gets by the Clippers in 6 in round 2, ultimately falling against the Lakers in the conference finals. I have a feeling this series is going to go one of 2 ways. If Oklahoma City wins, I think it's like a dominant 5-game series. If the Lakers win, I think it like goes to 7. I don't know why, that's kind of just the vibe I'm getting from this series. At the end of the day, I trust Luka and LeBron to get the Lakers over the hump. This is no insult to Oklahoma City because I think they're going to win a title with their current core. But if they won it this year, I think they'd be the youngest team in NBA history to ever win the title. Previous youngest is, I think it's the Blazers actually in 77. Luka got him last year in the second round. I think he gets him in the conference finals this year again. I just trust the experience of Luka and LeBron. They've been there. They've done that. The Thunder haven't. I think they'll make big plays down the stretch. So I'm going Lakers to make the NBA finals. And out in the East, I mean, it's Cleveland and Boston. Like, sorry, New York, sorry, Milwaukee, but these two are on a collision course. And I think Cleveland gets it done. I know a lot of people are going Boston, especially because of how Cleveland wasn't playing that well down the stretch of the season. I was like, they've locked up the first seed in the East. Like, they took their foot off the gas pedal. Yachty fucking da. Like, who cares? Right? I just have a feeling I think Cleveland gets it done in 7 and we get that Lakers-Cavs matchup. Maybe I'm just like yapping about what I want. You know, I want to see LeBron in the finals against the Cavs, but you know what? Screw it. That's the way I think it's going down.
Okay, Western Conference first. I have the same. I have Thunder versus Lakers, even though I was the guy saying the Lakers are pretenders, and I still think to an extent they are because the Lakers are not going to win 4 playoff series. They might win 2, but I think that's all they're winning. I think they're winning 2 because the Thunder, I'm going to say Thunder in 6, but I kind of agree. It could be Thunder in 5. I think the Thunder are just going to shoot the lights out. They have the perimeter defenders to slow down the Lakers. They got Lou Dort. You can throw on Luka. He's not going to stop Luka, but he can give Luka some fits. Maybe the best defender in the NBA to throw at Luka. And then it's Caruso. It's Cason Wallace. It's Jalen Williams. It's Shea. You have all the perimeter defenders you need. And then I think Hartenstein and Chet are big for OKC. I know they weren't great matchup wise in those 2 games we saw. That didn't go perfect for OKC. They still won the second game with Luka getting ejected, but just the Lakers, there's too many concerns there, whether it's the front court, whether it's their man-to-man defense, whether it's just Luka, LeBron getting nicked up at all during the playoffs. They rely so much on those guys. I think the Thunder get it done in the West. And then on the East, I also had Cleveland and Boston. I mean, how could you not? Like, we've known basically since the first month of the season, this is going to be the Eastern Conference Finals. Now that we said it, it's probably not going to happen. But it's still gonna happen.
If we somehow curse this from happening, then like the government needs to get involved.
Yeah,
like,
there needs to be a full-on investigation.
There needs to be an investigation. There needs to be inquiries. Like they're gonna subpoena all our friends and family. They're gonna interview. Something's wrong if these two don't meet in the conference finals because of us.
But I pick Boston. I mean, Boston has all the damn experience you could want. They make the conference finals every damn year, and I kind of feel like, I can't believe I'm saying it, this is gonna be the Jason Tatum Tatum playoffs. I think in years prior, he's been incredible in moments. I think this is the year he completely puts it together. I'm picking the Celtics in 6. I'm a little bit concerned about Jaylen Brown's knee. I know the Celtics are saying like, it's not an issue. He has not looked 100%, but I'm still picking the Celtics. No disrespect to Cleveland. I think they can win this series, but I just trust Boston way more. They've been there before. I just trust the Jays more than the backcourt in Cleveland.
So now the NBA Finals, both got it completely differently. I've got Lakers Cavaliers. This is the point where I think the shortcomings of the Lakers really start to come back and bite them. I think the Cavs go so deep, especially with perimeter options to score the ball. You've got Garland, you've got Mitchell, you've got DeAndre Hunter, you've got Strus coming off the bench. I think the inability for the Lakers to defend on the perimeter really comes back to haunt them here. And also, I think Cleveland can exploit the lack of front court depth for the Lakers better than, say, like a Minnesota could, because Jared Allen, look, he's not Hakeem Olajuwon in the post, but he's better than Gobert. And Mobley, obviously he can score on the inside, can also score on the outside. He's another phenomenal perimeter defender. They've got Hunter to play defense. Mitchell's no slouch on defense. I think they've got enough both offensively and defensively to give the Lakers trouble. LeBron doesn't get his, it wouldn't even be the end of his career because he's not retiring or anything, but he doesn't get his fairy tale ending against his old team. I think Cleveland beats the Lakers in 6, wins the NBA championship in LA.
I had the finals I picked before the season, and to be honest, I know like you picked the finals you most wanted to see. I want to see Celtics versus Thunder. The regular season matchups were incredible. I know the Thunder swept the Celtics, but I think the Celtics get it done. I've been back and forth on this the entire season. Before the season started, I said Celtics over Thunder in the finals. I'll stick to that again. Mainly an experience thing. I think Jason Tatum, I just feel like he's going to step up. For whatever reason, just the way he's been moving this season, it feels like he's going to be big. And then the one concern I have for the Thunder is they rely so much on Shea offensively. He's like the only dude who can get to the free throw line. They rely a lot on his isolation game. If that slows down just a little bit with like Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown guarding him, I think the Celtics got the edge there. I'm saying Celtics in 6, but this could go either way, and I think overall would be a fantastic final.
You think this is gonna be like the Jason Tatum playoffs? You think he's gonna have a moment after winning the title that doesn't feel completely forced and inauthentic?
Everything is going his way. The whole offseason he was thinking about that. He's like, I just won the title. No one giving me any damn respect. And this is the year he earns that respect.
Fair enough, man. I will say though, like considering all the talk there was like mid-season about how the NBA is apparently dying, like this playoffs looks like it's gonna be fucking incredible.
It is shaping up to be something special.
That's the video, guys. What are your picks for the NBA playoffs? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.